been a great friend to the Armenian community, strongly backing Armenian genocide resolutions in Congress. In fact, earlier this month, as the current chairman of the United States Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Menendez oversaw the committee's approval with a 12-5-1 vote of Resolution 410 that calls upon Turkey to acknowledge that the massacres of Armenians in 1915 constituted genocide. Senator Menendez continues to be vigilant and insistent that American diplomats honestly recognize the Armenian genocide. Please welcome our friend, the senior senator from the great state of New Jersey, Bob Menendez.
Thank you, Dr. Perez, and good afternoon. We are here to commemorate the 99th anniversary of one of the darkest events in human history, and it is one that we are committed never to forget. Today, as we remember, as we keep faith with those who stand up to injustice anywhere and everywhere in the world, we honor those who lost their lives, we remember how they died, and we pledge ourselves to change the way that history remembers their deaths. To me, all men and women of goodwill understand that genocide is genocide and cannot be called anything else but what history reminds us. Every year we come to remember, but this year, as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, I introduced a resolution to put the historical facts in black and white in undisputed terms, and that resolution passed the Senate Foreign Relations Committee earlier this month, the first time a resolution has been reported out of the committee in 30 years. And it passed despite intense lobbying and opposition by the Turkish government. But the resolution recognizes the simple fact, the simple but powerful fact, that the Armenian genocide was a genocide, and is a lesson that we cannot pick our genocides and must stand together against all crimes against humanity. The statement this week by the Turkish Prime Minister again seeks to ignore the simple truth, trying to portray the deaths of 1.5 million Armenians as nothing more than the consequence of the First World War. No different than any other death that occurred at that time. And he quoted a Turkish proverb that states, "Fire burns in the place where it falls." Well, that may be true, but it makes a difference whether the fire was self-ignited or it was an act of arson. The first is an accident, the later is a crime. The resolution passed by the Senate Foreign Relations Committee reaffirms in the strongest terms possible that we will always remember this great tragedy. It expresses the sense of the Senate that we remember and observe the anniversary of the Armenian Genocide on April 24th, and that the President ensure that the foreign policy of the United States reflects the appropriate understanding and sensitivity concerning issues related to human rights, crimes against humanity, ethnic cleansing, and genocide documented in the United States record relating to the Armenian Genocide. After 99 years, that is simply not too much to ask. In my view, we must not make it the policy of the United States to turn our back on man's inhumanity to man. We cannot turn our backs to the victims, not in Armenia in 1915, not anywhere that genocide occurs. And anyone who tries to create a nuanced approach serves only to empower those around the world who would use genocide as a weapon of war. We cannot permit that to happen. And so we stand here together once again, this time with the United States Senate's Foreign Relations Committee standing alongside with you after 30 years of silence. And we cannot allow silence to take place, because I am reminded what Adolf Hitler said when he was being asked about what he was doing to the Jewish people, and he said, oh, that doesn't matter, look at the Armenians. Who remembers the Armenians? We stand here together at the crossroads of the world to say, we remember the Armenians. We remember those who died. We remember their survivors. We remember their children and grandchildren, and we will never, never forget.